start this with a quote, because I read this quote and it completely made all of the noise that was in my head make sense. And it is, one day none of this will matter. Not what you built, not what you owned, not the titles, trophies or numbers. The only thing that will matter is how you showed up. Did you love fully? Did you give without holding back? Did the people you cared about feel it? Most people waste their lives chasing things they can't take with them. But when it's over, the only thing that lasts is what you gave away. And for me, that quote was like quite a big realization for me in regards to time is not something that could be taken for granted. Like, time is forever passing, and we actually don't know how much time we've actually got left here. And as crazy as that actually sounds, I think that life is about experience, it is about learning, it is about showing up and doing hard things, pushing yourself and testing yourself to be your very best, no matter what avenue that is, whether it's in fitness, your career, your relationships. It's about showing up and being your best, but it's also about being your authentic self at the same time, because as we grow up, we tend to put on all of these masks. We are a representation of our environment. So the people that we spend the most time with, the things we consume on social media, the people that we take inspiration from, we are basically like a representation of all of that. And sometimes we can end up hiding parts of ourselves that are maybe a little bit weird, a little bit spicy, a little bit original because of maybe fear. And I've felt like that as well. Like, there's parts of me that I haven't been true to myself. And for me, last year I had quite a lot of resistance, and it was probably one of the lowest points of my life since actually starting bodybuilding. And I lost all self-belief, self-confidence within myself, and it was a really dark period of my life, if I'm being honest. And for me, bodybuilding is literally everything. It completely changed my life 8 years ago when I started going into the gym. It got me out of a very dark place of alcohol and drug use, and it completely gave me purpose and passion again. But last year, bodybuilding didn't get me out of that dark place. And I think for me, being someone that's so driven and literally loves doing hard things, I had a realization last year, which is something that had never even crossed my mind the whole time that I was actually in it, was the PED use. And for me, when I started bodybuilding, my main goal was to turn pro. Like, that was what I was chasing from day one. Everything on top of that has literally just been icing on top of an already sprinkled and baked cake. Like, it nothing's actually felt the same in comparison to me achieving that outcome, and that outcome being my pro card. And I think there needs to be a point as well that you kind of, especially as a female, like, you do need to kind of like have like an end point, we should say. This is not a retirement video, by the way, because I don't know what the future is going to bring for me. But right now, where I'm at from a body composition side of things, in terms of the amount of muscle that I've got and the amount of boundaries that I'm willing to cross, is up there at its limit. if I'm being honest. And I think that this is why having self-awareness is really important when you're in this game, and especially if you are a young competitor as well, because you've got a whole life ahead of you. And that is something that hit me massively last year when my self-confidence and belief was in the bin, and also my health was in the gutters as well, and I needed to take a step back and prioritize myself. And the past 6 months has been a massive healing journey for me. It's been a journey of self rediscovery. It's been a journey of expanding myself and actually doing things that have truly terrified me, because I've been a robot for eight years, and it's not until you actually take a step back and realize that your emotions are actually really important. And when you're in the trenches chasing goals as a bodybuilder, your emotions kind of get put to the side just ever so slightly. So for me, it has been about actually refinding Erin again, and refinding who I actually am outside of my physique, which has actually been quite difficult. And it has been a journey of putting myself into uncomfortable positions by getting over certain fears that I've had, or putting myself into new environments, or speaking to new people. It's been a very uncomfortable but really enjoyable couple of months for me. And for me, I'll always train. I'll always be within the industry, because bodybuilding is so close to my heart. But right now, my purpose within bodybuilding is to take my clients to places that I once went to. And I think for me, that gives me a lot more joy and a lot more comfort, knowing that I'm taking them there in the best way that I possibly can, as opposed to me actually pushing myself past boundaries. Because Wiki did an incredible quote, an incredible analogy, and she basically said that every single time you use PEDs, you're basically turning on a tap. So the more exposure you have from duration and also the amount, the faster that tap is going on. Now, even if you do turn off that tap and come off cycle, the bath doesn't ever empty. So even if you have breaks in between cycles, that bath is always going to fill again. And for me, being in the position that I'm in right now as well, I just don't want to take any more risks at the moment, and it's time to move on to this next little chapter. And I started cycling a couple of weeks after I finished my prep, to clear my head, to actually give me a little bit of space where I'm not on my phone and I've got no distractions and I'm outside in nature. And I actually realised how much it actually brought me back to my younger self. So growing up, I used to love going out on my bike and cycling, and I've always been quite an athletic kid. I've never really been someone that's been that does one thing. I used to dance and swim to a high standard at the same time when I was younger, and it just brought back a lot of inner child nostalgic feels for me. But it also brought a lot of hardships as well. So the cool thing with doing endurance related things is it's you versus you. So there's always you can always get faster, and you can always push for a longer duration. But the mental and physical determination that comes along with it is something that has actually brought me quite a lot of joy. So last year I watched Nick Baer's Iron Man video because it popped up it popped up on my YouTube home screen, and I watched it and I was like, I can do that. Complete delusion, I tell you that, because an Ironman consists of a 3.8 kilometre swim, which will roughly take me, it'll roughly take me an hour to an hour and a half, I would imagine. 180k cycle, which is 6+ hours on the bike, and then a full marathon after that. So I'm going to be doing the full distance Ironman in October. So I'm giving myself around 6 months to do this. Swimming is something that I used to do as a kid, so I'm re-picking up a childhood hobby, and there's been a lot of PTSD that I've had to get over with this, because as a kid I used to swim all of the time, but yeah, getting back into that as an adult has been quite challenging. The cycle I'm managing fine with, because it is the discipline that I actually enjoy the most. I've went from 0 to 100 with cycling within the past couple of months, and I've got a bike, I've got a lot of the gear, but I still don't have any clue what I'm actually doing with that yet. But I enjoy being out on the bike, so I think the cycle section will be okay. And then you've obviously got the marathon after that, which is going to be the biggest issue for me. because I'm not a runner. I really struggle with the running side, and I just want to give a quick shout out to all of you guys that do marathons, because they are mental. So I can't really run 5 to 10k at the moment, so it's going to be an exciting journey actually learning to improve in all three disciplines. I am going to be doing this alongside my training, however, so I will still be keeping in 2 to 3 leg days per week, 1 upper session, and then the big priority on mobility, stretching, and obviously recovery throughout this. And I want to document this because this is going to be a huge chapter in my life, and I love watching back my previous bodybuilding preps and seeing that from day one. So the time is now, and for me, my goal is always to help inspire you guys to overcome fears, to push past your limiting beliefs, and to do things that actually genuinely scare you as well, because life is way too short. And for me, this is something that genuinely absolutely terrifies me, and it's a feeling that I've not actually felt since going into my first bodybuilding prep. So it's been 8 years since I've had this, like, I actually don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this process is going to go. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to do this, but, well, I do know I'm going to be able to do this because I do believe in myself, but it's going to be it's going to be really hard to actually get there, and hopefully this inspires you guys to maybe take some risks or put yourself out of your comfort zone and chase your dreams, because I think that that's what we're all here to do, is to have experiences and to do hard things.